Why Dr. Flug love or obsessed with planes? And believe it or not, the answer is pretty simple, but doesn't have an answer in the show. It's almost like you have an answer for the creation of Dr. Flug. Yeah, it's one of those kind of projects that you have to really dig deep to understand why he's obsessed with in the show, but it doesn't really have an answer this for right now because knowing Alan, the creator of villainous, he's the type of guy who actually does listen to the fans, but he knows when to do something, then not do it against the fans' wishes. They want an answer. In the show, you do not have an answer. At least not now. Depends how Alan feels that could work, couldn't work in the show. But you do have a answer. Before I actually get started, my name is Rachel. I like to talk about animation, not just animation, reviews, first impressions, cartoon theories, and sometimes, if I have some spare time, cartoon breaking news. Of course, you really like where this is going. It really helps if you like, comment, and subscribe. One of those things helps my channel because let's face it, I'm a small channel. I only have 800 and some subscribers. In fact, my goal is in this year to go to 1,000. Yeah, I'm getting close thanks to all the people who subscribe, like, and comment. You just need to do one of those things just to sort of help out my channel. Of course, if you choose to. If you did, that's fine. You did, thank you very much. Every little thing helps so much. Let's start talking about the cartoon theory. Now, today we're going to talk about a theory, or at least a conversation of a theory, of why Dr. Flood is sort of obsessed with planes. And something that I feel sort of interesting because every time people watch villainous, they ask that similar questions. Why Dr. Flood is obsessed with planes, or why he has a paper bag. I have really answered that and a long time ago called the video called Who is Dr. Flood? In that one sort of kind of answer it. It's sort of theories, but you do have an answer of that. But besides that, the reason why Dr. Flood is obsessed with planes is sort of his creation. That Alan sort of based on his friend back in elementary. His name was Gallardo, if I have said it right. That he was sort of first obsessed with dinosaurs. Later on, he was obsessed with planes. Then, after he became a full adult, he became sort of an engineer with creating planes. But interestingly enough, Alan's friend was specifically obsessed with accidents in planes. That is sort of conversation that you can't get away with him every time you talk to Alan's friend, and he's always go straight to the crashing the planes because he's so obsessed with that specific subject matter. This is the reason why Alan made Dr. Flood like obsessed with planes, sort of a tribute to his friend that he's sort of kind of odd to him, and that's what the answer is. Why Dr. Flood is obsessed with it. It's very simple. It's just sort of his creation. In fact, believe it or not, Dr. Flood, his own name, actually says, or translate to the person who crashed planes, Flood. That's firstly the European translation to English or Spanish, depends who you are in this video watching this. But that's sort of give it more layers to the character, why he's sort of obsessed with it. It's just sort of a nod to his friend. But believe it or not, Alan could actually answer this in the show. In fact, there's some fan theories that believe this was the direction Alan would do with Dr. Flood. One of them is because, in theory, that his family were aviation, or people who worked in the military, drive planes or create planes. It's sort of his backstory, at least in theory, that kind of makes sense in a way. That this is the reason why he says planes, because he sort of grew up with them. Or the second theory, that his families were obsessed with planes, that obsessed with them, that sort of hobbyist, kind of rubbed Dr. Flood himself because he wanted to know planes because his father and mother were obsessed with planes. And that sort of makes sense in theory. Also makes sense why he sort of stays with his airplane as a room, because he sort of crashed it on top of the building of Black Cat. Yeah, that building plane stuck in the room of Black Cat, that's Dr. Flood's own plane. He quite literally crashed into the building, and now he lives there as his own room. But it also asks him more questions, what he says with, why he doesn't really move out the plane to one of the buildings or rooms inside the building. Well, there's other theories of that. Maybe because he sort of feel guilty that he fails his family, and the plane crashed to the building reminds him why he keep doing the things he's doing, or it's something that's a part of him he just can't get rid of, or even that remember that I said at the very beginning, Alan's friend that he sort of says with crashes. That's another theory that he sort of could have maybe killed his family by accident, and that guilt won't leave him alone, that he won't let go of that guilt. This is the reason why he lives in the plane, in the building. That sort of reminder, that sort of I'm the villain because this happened to me, and that's the thing he's obsessed with, stuck with. And this would makes more sense if the character, if Alan wants to do that character, in other words. Now, some of you believe maybe a little bit too dark for a sort of family kind of animated series. In a way, not really, because you can't get away with it in the way how villainous is sort of built, because it's like two different fan bases. The one is sort of normal, just watch the series, and the second fan base is the one who actually loves the lore and all the backstory of all the side characters. And usually those fans are the oldest fans who are obsessed with villainous, and that's the one who keep making videos or theories because they enjoy the series. Usually not just all teens or the adults who just enjoy it. This is the way you kind of get away with it without actually giving it full backstory. You just give hints, clues, in certain scenarios. It just sort of makes sense for the character now. But besides that, there is another theory that sort of complements this theory, but backwards. The reason why he sort of stuck the plane in the building and why Dr. Flood is sort of there, he won't leave, is sort of a reminder that he couldn't have that life of being a plane or a plane driver in other words. He just couldn't do it, or he was sort of unsatisfied, that he wasn't fully complete. That's the reason he decided he's more interesting to be a villain, being a crooked person, because that sort of fulfilled them. Because when he made me a person who fly planes, maybe he was unsatisfied. Something about him just didn't work. That itself makes so much sense because why he lived in the sets with the planes. That sort of reminder, if he decided to quit becoming the bad guy, he come back to doing planes, but he realized he always was sort of unsatisfied making planes. I mean, he likes it, but he doesn't want to do it as a job. And that's why he decided to become a villain. That could work. That could be a very interesting, fun twist if they decide to actually go forward. Or even that, maybe he's sort of nostalgia of his past, about his family, having that sort of kind of fun moments using the plane, fixing, creating. This is the reason why he just sort of living with the plane, just sort of nostalgia purposes. Nothing truly evil. At least some fans believe that. That actually could work. That actually makes sense because how Dr. Flood is sort of kind of sentimental. In fact, you think this is the part of the best theory or best storyline for Dr. Flood. Just sort of an add-on. Nothing really special, just add something more layers to the character. Because there's a lot of questions why Dr. Flood sort of do things. In fact, it's one of the biggest mysteries of the whole villainous franchise. But other than that, I think that's it. I really trying to think any more theories that I try and remember right now. The only thing is sort of maybe he just like planes. I mean, it's very simple. That you don't need a strong answer to answer why he says with planes. Some people like that. In fact, I think it'd be more better that Alan does not answer that question, because not knowing something from the character make it more interesting to actually observe or analyze, because you're just wondering why he was obsessed with planes. Or I think the second biggest question is, what does he have a bag? That is a different theory that actually was sort of kind of answered in the other video I made a long time ago. The who is Dr. Flood. If you want the answer of why he has the bag, if you don't want to look that video, that he was sort of cursed by Black Cat wearing the bag. The first time he's met him, he just cursed him and put in the bag. He was supposed to be in the first episode, but Alan decided to cut it off because he thinks maybe we should answer that later on. And that probably was the most smartest thing he ever did. That once more, that's the intriguing thing about Dr. Flood. Well, knowing who he is, just giving clues who he used to be, or he chooses not to reveal it. That's to make the characters just so interesting and fascinating, asking more questions, never answering, but that's sort of the fun of it. In fact, let me ask this question. Do you actually want to know who is Dr. Fart really? Or you do, or you're not, or you one of the people who just want to know that he's related to actually Goldheart or something to do with Goldheart. That just answer that, you'll be legitimately satisfied. You don't want to answer anything else because answering that could be unsatisfying. Like honestly, there's sometimes you answer a question of a character and you're feeling that's it, really. But sometimes you do have a good answer that is satisfying. It's sort of how you execute that answer, how you dramatize it, or make it a big ass joke. Like Dr. Flood, he's sort of afraid of like a sandwich mayonnaise or something. That is sort of a good joke in the character, but Alan said there would be a why he's scared of mayonnaise sandwiches. It's a very hilarious joke, but wait for the actually drop in the series. But besides that, that's something that you want to answer. You want to keep it as a joke, as wondering why. But besides that, how you feel this sort of theories and at least sort of the answer why he Dr. Flood was obsessed with planes. Tap it down below. Let me know. In fact, give me your own theory. What you think Dr. Flood was obsessed with planes. I got nothing else to say. Just thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and have a wonderful day. Bye.